Hi, I'm Izzy Kirish and welcome to another Hospitality Works video where we will be focusing today with Mel Thillens on what it's like to run a restaurant. Mel was with us in the last video talking about everything it takes to pre-open a restaurant. Today we're going to talk about running a restaurant. So we had the discussion, we went to all these barbecue places, we got the design done, everything's ready to go. We get to opening day. It's really when the work started.
No, it's been perfectly easy, smooth sailing ever since. I always joke with my restaurateur buddies who told me how hard it was. Why didn't they tell me how hard it was? And they all say, of course we did.
Tried to tell you. So, that's a good place to start. So it took a year and a half to get open. A lot of work went into it. We're finally open. What is the hardest part as an owner?
Well, out of the gate, it was finding the right team. Coming out of COVID, which is where we were, the labor market was all a mess. We went through, 15 dishwashers. We went through tons of people who came in and just weren't the right fit. Luckily now I finally settled in. We're about 6 months in, and for the last couple of months I've settled in with a good crew that are a great fit, and they know what they need to do, and we're getting it done. So that's nice.
And that's huge. And in the beginning we had a chef that we thought was going to work, and 2 weeks into it, 3 weeks into it?
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
That's right. Yeah, opening a restaurant is tricky, and we were working long hours. It was tough. I was still new to the restaurant industry, so I didn't know exactly what needed to be done, which added some pressure to him. And he just, he knew what he was getting himself into, but it was just difficult for him. So he decided to bow out. So luckily we found somebody else. Scott's a great guy. He's taken over. We've got Tony, Chris, Megan, some other folks here who are just doing great. And like I said, it's just about finding the right fit. You're not going to find it right out of the gate. Unfortunately, you got to kind of work until you find the team that fits.
Well, it's interesting that, we had somebody who was a professional. He's been in the industry for a long time, takes his job and relatively quickly, melts down and doesn't work out. What's funny is, you're the owner. You don't have that option.
That's right. Yeah. There's no. Yeah. At this point, I'm all in. There's no way for me to bow out and find something else at this point. I'm locked in. This is what I've decided to do for a good long period of time, probably the rest of my life. So what I need to do is just make it work. So what it meant was at first, and then now I'm opening and closing every day. I'm making sure that that things are where they need to be. And then, like I said, just finding the right people to kind of come along with me and learn and get done what needs getting done.
Well, and you picked a tougher concept than many, because most of the owners that I work with, they open at 11, they close at 12, 1, 2 in the morning, and their day is over. For you, many times, especially in the beginning, you had to be here at 1 in the morning to start loading the smoker, or 2 in the morning, and your day started, and I don't know if you got a nap in there, but starting work at 1 or 2 in the morning to start smoking your product, that's a long day.
Yeah, when I first made my cook schedule and I was looking at it and I went, looks like I'm not going to get a chance to sleep for about 6 months. But we figured it out. And it eventually all made more sense. But you're right, this barbecue is a long cook. So it requires a lot of prep time, a lot of cook time before you even get ready to go. The good news is that you're not cooking every dish for every customer a la minute. You get a chance to get everything set and ready to go, and then once the customers are here, you're just getting the food plated and getting it out the door. So that's nice.
Yeah, and there were certainly crucial decisions that had to be made. Before again we opened the restaurant, we went to a lot of tastings of different products and looked at a lot of quality of meats, and again you did not choose the easiest road. You're dealing with prime brisket, the most expensive meat on the product, or at least in the public out there.
It wasn't. We tried everything, and I was hoping we could find cheaper stuff that tasted as good as the prime. But the prime was what we wanted to do. All natural turkeys is what we wanted to do. We're using Berkshire hogs from a local farmer, which are not as cheap as commodity pork butts. But it makes a difference in the food, and we tried it all. We settled on what we knew would put the best product out there.
Yeah. So and again, those are discussions that we had We looked at the menu, we looked at what other barbecues are charging. I mean, your competitors are charging a lot less for brisket than you are, but they're using a lesser cut of meat, and that's the one thing, standing, by quality for you was huge, because a lot of people fold and say, you know what, I'm going to go with the lesser quality. And I say that because it takes a long time for a restaurant to be considered as one of the best in their category. Could be years. You opened in May. By July, the Chicago Tribune named you one of the best barbecues in Illinois.
That's right.
You had been open for all of 3 months.
Exactly right.
So I mean, again, that I think certainly says a lot about you, but I think it's also due to top quality product.
It is. I mean, and we're constantly working on it to make sure that it gets better. We've got the right equipment, we've got the right product, we got the right people cooking it, and we're paying attention to every piece of meat that goes through that smoker. And that was the major important thing for me to do at this place, was to put out the best product possible, so that when people came in here, they said, this is amazing. Because that's the experience I had when I went down and tried barbecue in some of these places for the first time. When you put that first bite in your mouth and you go, oh my God, how do they do this? That's the kind of experience I wanted to give the customers here.
And it's been hugely successful, because I know you just did a spot on WGN TV with your barbecue, and that has never, I've been doing this a long time, never had a customer be considered to be the top in their field in such a short period of time.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and it's like I said, it's just always trying to make sure you're putting the best quality product out every single day. Taste every day. Make sure everything's coming out the way you need it to every day. And not only that, some of the media I've been getting is you gotta hustle a little bit. You gotta put the phone calls in to the people at the TV stations and the radio stations. You gotta.
So it doesn't just happen by itself.
It doesn't happen by itself. Don't sit back and wait for people to come to you and say, I want to put you on TV. You got to go find who puts people on TV and explain who you are and why you should be there.
And again, I think one of the things that a lot of the owners that I work with don't really understand is how important they are to the brand. I mean, you have your name on the door. That certainly is one thing a lot of people don't, but they're still owner-operators, and they're not on the floor with the customers all the time, or at least during key times. And I know, I mean, a huge success for you is knowing all the customers that come in, welcoming everybody, and if they haven't been here, sending them the right way. But in your old business, you couldn't be with every customer all the time.
That's right.
So how is that for you? You've changed industries, now you're on the floor all the time.
I tend to be a social animal, so I don't mind doing that. I actually like communicating with the customers. The hardest part about it is getting me out of the kitchen, making sure that the kitchen staff was up to speed, knowing what they needed to do, so that I could get out and do that. So I come in during lunches, I come in during dinners. I make a point to try and be here during our busy times, so I can walk up to every table and say, hey, how's the food tasting today? How are we doing? Is there anything we could be doing better? And then we've got regulars, just like every place has got regulars. So getting to know them, knowing what they like, if it's their birthday, get them a slice of cake, that kind of thing. Just making sure that everybody feels comfortable and welcome.
So Mel, this was great. I'm glad you did 2 parts with me, and I think the one thing that people can really learn is the restaurant business is not easy.
That's right.
And I have to say, as often as I have come in, there has not been one day or hour that I have not seen you. Right? So I think if people want to be successful, they better be prepared to put in that time and be on the floor and be with their customers. So thank you all again for watching a Hospitality Works video starring my good friend and client Mel from Mel's Barbecue in Park Ridge. Make sure to leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, and of course hit the bell so you know when the next video is coming out. And it wouldn't kill you to hit the like button. Say hit the like button.
That's right, hit the like button.
Thank you all so much.